Welcome to the Sideload, where it's all fun and games until you can't keep your Galaxy S model straight. I'm your host, Will Sattelberg. Very fun, very silly episode for this week that we actually just wrapped up recording like 20 minutes ago as I'm recording this. Joe Maring back on the show for the first time in several months. We talk a little bit about his recent article on Android phones to not buy, kind of an anti-buyer's guide. We talk a lot about the legacy of Motorola's G series and you know how cheap budget phones have kind of both risen and fallen over the last 15 years. We also talk a little bit about what to make of the Pixel 10a compared to just picking up a Pixel 9a, kind of my recent thoughts on that explained. But really, this week's episode is all about a very silly game that I've made that I guess I need to come up with a name for. It's probably just Guess the Phone at this point. That might be the episode title as you're listening to this, now that I say it out loud. I have some clues for Joe about 10 legacy Android phones that he has to guess on. And I think it's a lot of fun. I think you can play along at home. If you have knowledge on your 2010s Android flagships, mostly flagships, I think you're going to probably crush this game. But I will say it's challenging, and Joe gets tripped up more than a few times. So stick around to see if you can beat Joe's score. But yeah, let's get to it right now. Here is my conversation with Joe Maring. I am thrilled to welcome back to the show Android Authority's trending editor and my very good friend, Joe Maring. How are you doing, Joe?
I am good. It's going to be 57 in Michigan today, which...
Joe was just gloating about this 30 seconds before what I just said. So he's just reiterating this to give me reaction on the recording. Joe, I'm proud of you for your warmish weather. Warm for where we both live. You live, of course, in Michigan. I live in Buffalo. But Buffalo is not getting that warm weather. It's going to be 40 today, and I think that's the highest high of the week.
You're getting there. You're creeping up.
I stepped outside this morning to pick up a couple of Amazon packages that were delivered early this morning, and it was 26 out. Our Nest display said 26, and I walked out in a t-shirt and like athletic pants, and I was like, wow, this feels lovely. It's been so cold that in comparison, I was like, this feels fine. Like I'm not even. There's no wind. It's great. Mm-hmm. I could go for a walk just like this. I did, but I could have. Joe, we are here today. Well, we were originally going to talk a little bit about the Android 17's delayed beta, but in between us scheduling this out, because we're recording this the day it's going to come out, that beta came out. So it's we don't really have anything to talk about other than that it was delayed and now it's there and it's not very exciting. So instead of talking about Android 17, which maybe we can do down the road when we have a more complete picture of it, I wanted to talk a little bit about your list that you published a week ago titled as an Android expert, here are 8 phones I don't recommend buying right now. And then in the back half of the show, it's a fairly light news week, and this is not a news heavy show anyway. I have built a game for you to play where you are going to get clues about various 2010s devices. So this is Android phones released from 2010 to 2020. You are going to have to guess with as few clues as possible. So I will admit this is inspired by the box office game on the Blank Check podcast. If anybody out there listens to that fairly popular movie podcast, but I also just think it's going to be a fun game, or it'll be a train wreck. In either way, I think it'll be entertaining to watch or listen to.
Do I get to phone a friend at any point?
Exactly. You get one phone a friend. It's just us sending the link to Ben Schoen. Let's start with your article though. So you've been doing this kind of as a recurring feature for a while now, where once every, I don't know if it's every month, it's every few months maybe, you put together a list of devices that you think people should not, maybe instead, rather than looking at what to buy, you kind of say like, don't buy these. I think that's like a smart approach because generally speaking, phones are fairly good today. Like I think I said on last week's Pixelated actually that like, phones basically don't drop below a 7 out of 10 anymore. Like largely speaking, they're all pretty usable unless you're buying like a really cheap budget device or, very, specific outliers. Right. So I think this is a really smart approach. And I'm kind of curious, what do you look for when you first start putting together one of these don't buyer's guides? I'm gonna call them.
Sure. So I mean, for like this latest one I wrote, for example, like one of the things I kind of look for initially is like the timing that somebody's buying this one. So like this latest one I published is like very specific to like you're reading this in February 2026. So
yeah.
The Galaxy S26 series, we're expecting that right around the corner, or we know it's around the corner with the Unpacked invites that went out recently. You could buy an S25 series phone right now, and they are on sale currently, but we know for a fact that like the next generation is going to be here in less than a month. We know that Samsung's pre-order promotions are historically very aggressive, so you could buy an S25 or an S25 Ultra and save, I don't know, $200-$300 on it currently with sales that are active right now. But if you wait like just a couple weeks, you could probably get an S26 series phone with a trade-in for free, if not very close to free. So a lot of it's just that timing of, if we know something's around the corner, we know those pre-order promotions are usually pretty good. Even if, the Samsung example, we're not expecting dramatic upgrades for S25 to S26 series. Like it's boring, but like just like from a mathematical standpoint, it usually makes sense to just hold off if you can take advantage of those pre-order promos and just buy the new model like that.
It's interesting because like you have that approach with certain devices. You also have the Pixel 9a on here, which we can talk about momentarily. But then I also like that you kind of take the opposite approach, which is something with like the OnePlus 15 or 15R, especially the 15. You're kind of like, well, I mean, I don't know. Like this phone is kind of a disappointing follow-up to its predecessor, and you can find its predecessor for cheaper. So go buy its predecessor. It does prove that it's kind of a case-by-case basis, right? Because Samsung is so consistent, like for better or worse, consistency is key with Samsung. That there is a certain level of faith and like, well, yes, you could buy the S25 right now, and we know that's like a fairly like trusty smartphone, right? Like you are going to be good, but we expect, even if it's a fairly boring upgrade, that the S26 is at the very least not going to be worse than its predecessor. So you might as well wait and see if you can take advantage of those deals. Makes sense. It's so interesting with like a brand like OnePlus, which has had a lot of success in the last few years, but I think the OnePlus 15 and 15R for to a lesser extent came out, and the word of mouth on it was a little bit like, it sort of fits that 7 out of 10 thing I just said, right? Where it's like, it's not a disaster. Nobody buying this phone is going to be like, is going to get stranded in the middle of nowhere because suddenly their cell reception died or something, right? Or like the battery life randomly, it shuts off at 50% or something. Like this is it meets a certain baseline, but you can go buy this older thing.
Right. And like the 15 and the 15R, like those are, like, I agree with you. Like I don't think anyone would call those phones like complete disasters, but those are.
It's just a letdown.
It's a weird situation where like the 13R and the 13 last year were kind of widely regarded as like the 13 was, I mean, for Android Authority, like that was our pick for like best phone of 2025. The 13R. I forget the placement for that, but I know that was like one of our best reviewed phones of last year, especially for the price point. And then you have like this 15 generation where prices go up by $100. There's some camera downgrades or some other, design changes that everyone's a fan of. And like some of that
design is definitely a step back as well, in my opinion. It's I'm not a fan of this iPhone-esque look.
No. Going from that the fake blue leather on the 13 to just looks like an iPhone for the 15. But
I mean, it's not for everybody, but at least the OnePlus 13 was like making choices. Like this is just matching, a popular look that isn't even really being used by Apple anymore. Like by the time this phone came out, it was like they're like, oh, actually we want big wide camera bars instead on our Pro devices, not these square ones. So
right. But no, like you said, it's a very much case by case thing. Cause like the first like few recommendations on this, the Pixel 9a the S25, S25 Plus, S25 Ultra, like those are all phones that on Android Authority we've recommended countless times. Like I think like most tech sites have like considered those like very good phones. Like they're not bad products on their own. It's just the timing for when you go to buy them, like it does change a lot. Like not that you're buying a bad phone if you get a Pixel 9a today. It's just if you could time it out to come out a little bit ahead, just if you're buying it now versus we know the 10a is just down the road.
Well, okay, let's talk about the 9A then, because this is the one entry that I think I disagree with you on, because I think, you know, everything we have seen about, and we've not seen a complete specs list. We won't until Wednesday, February 18th. It is the 16th as we're recording this. We might not know the entire specs list, but every single leak about this product has pointed to like a very similar like phone to like almost identical device compared to last year. And if you can get it on sale, does it not make a little bit of sense to be like, actually for $400, you're probably not going to sacrifice much compared to what we expect out of the 10A. So maybe go buy this right now, even though it sort of breaks the like Galaxy S25, 26 rule. Sure.
I mean, like for the 9A, like it's, if you're buying that for $400 today, like that's still like, I don't think anybody would like, I wouldn't even consider that a bad deal. It's if you want to get
I think it's a great deal.
Sure.
In my
it's
opinion.
like,
because the 9A was a great phone and you're getting the only thing you're really sacrificing that we know of other than like a new berry color that they've shown off in their teasers is you know, a seventh year of updates, basically. Like you've lost that because you're buying year-old hardware, but you're saving $100 that you can put towards accessories or, you know, whatever you might bills, like anything, right?
Sure. And like a lot of it too kind of depends, I think, on how you're planning to buy stuff. I mean, like using last year's Pixel 9a pre-order promotions as an example, I think Amazon, Best Buy, and the Google store, like if you were just buying the 9A pre-ordering it last year without any trade-in, you got $100
that's true.
Gift card or credit that like effectively would make, like assuming the Pixel 10a is the same $499 retail price, and assuming we still get that same like $100 gift card pre-order promo.
A lot of assumptions.
But like these things typically follow the same promotional pre-order structure. So I mean, it's not confirmed, but you could fairly safely assume that you could spend $399 for a Pixel 9a today, or when the 10A pre-orders come out, effectively get it for that same $399 price. But then also too, like if you have an older phone to trade in, Google almost always has enhanced trade-in values for phones when like a new model comes out. So depending if you have like an 8A or something else to trade in, like you could very well get a 10A for free, if not very close to free or something. So like there is a lot of it is dependent on is Google and is Samsung, are they going to still offer those same promotions we've seen? But given that the structures of those and the values of those don't typically change that much year after year, I think it's fairly safe to rely on those, just given what we've seen in years past there.
Yeah, that's a good argument. To be honest with you, I was fully coming in here to be like, no, Joe, you're wrong. People should just go buy the 9A. If they're well, I mean, you are usually wrong, so it is what it is. But no, I can't disagree with you on this. To be honest, like there is a certain level of trust in terms of pre-order bonuses or trade-in values from Google, in the same way that there often is from Samsung. Although there are lots of question marks around that this year, as we've seen component prices skyrocket, essentially. How this will, and we've seen this impact, you know, companies to a certain degree already, where they're maybe holding back on certain upgrades. We've heard this about the S26, that part of their fear was competing with Apple's prices, and how do they balance that against you know, memory and storage component prices rising, like, although they make some of that, but regardless, you know, it's difficult.
Right.
Yeah, it's I can see the argument for waiting a few more days just to see. And who knows, maybe you can wait until the 18th and look at the 10A's entire spec sheet, you know, rundown, And because that phone is launching as a pre-order and not just immediately on sale, as Google usually does with the A series, you can maybe still scoop up a 9A at $400 from like Amazon or something if those traded values aren't there.
For sure. And like, I mean, Google, they, with the A series specifically, like will traditionally phase out older models, but even if like the 9A goes back up to that $499, like on the 18th when pre-orders for the 10A goes on sale, like almost certainly at some point, either later this month or March, like I would assume the 9A gets discounted again at some point so they can clear out any remaining inventory. So
yeah,
like,
I'm so curious what they're going to do with that device, because if the specs are essentially unchanged between generations, it's not like they can really hold especially, and the design is almost identical. Like they can't, it's going to be difficult for them to hold the 9A as like, they've done this before where they're like, oh, you can get last year's A series for $350, but like at that point, why would you? There's no reason to get, if the 10A is what we think it is, no reason to do that. So I'm curious to see how they walk that. I assume the 9A will be discontinued fairly quickly, but who knows? I don't work for Google, but that would be my advice to them. Just get rid of that phone. Yeah.
Or if they don't care, and if they're just somebody's buying a Pixel phone either way, and
they might not care.
If the 10A rumors, like if those are to be believed, I can't imagine it was that expensive of a phone for them to put together and assemble. Yeah. So maybe as long as somebody's buying a 9A or a 10A, it works out roughly the same. But we will see. Or maybe I'll be wrong and there'll be terrible pre-order promos, and then you can yell at me next time I'm on here for my bad buying advice.
Just yell at Joe anyway. He enjoys that. One other thing I wanted to talk about in this list is your last unrecommendation is the 2026 Moto G from Motorola, which is a device you guys haven't published your review of yet, but it is in the works. But you kind of used last year's 5 out of 10 Moto G review and a very, very similar spec sheet to make an argument of like, well, the complaints we had last year are not fixed. It's the same chipset. It's very similar cameras. It's the same lackluster upgrade policy, which Motorola not only doesn't seem interested in fixing, but is in fact actually like more away from in the argument of it saves money or whatever, which is an argument. It's an argument. Is there any? It's so weird. Like the legacy of the Moto G series is that like the first 4 entries are like 4 generations of, because there were lots of G phones, but the first 4 generations of Motorola G series devices were all pretty good, especially for the price. And they were kind of the first, because we're talking pre-Pixel A series. That doesn't come around until 2019, I think, is the 3A. And so you're talking about a landscape at the time, 10 years ago, where budget phones in general, I mean, Apple didn't make any, they kind of tried with the 5C and that didn't go anywhere. And budget Android phones were all like kind of universally bad. And Motorola was the first to like figure out the code and making a device like just good enough. And also kind of striking when the iron was hot in terms of like, well, component prices are getting cheaper. And so we can use this like perfectly fine processing power to build a device that is like totally usable day to day. I remember recommending Moto G devices to a lot of people throughout the back half of the 2010s. I don't know what to like. There's so many of these and they sell well, and Motorola, it's like the reason Motorola is a name at all in the US anymore, really, like that and the Razr, but that's, to a lesser extent. And yet like, I don't remember the last time I like wanted to recommend someone a Moto G device. I don't know. Like, I can't even point to you what has made them so lackluster, because on its face, it's the same core strategy as a decade ago, but they feel so much. Is it just our standards are higher? Like what do you think is the big problem with the G series?
I think it maybe boils down to a couple of things. I mean, just from Motorola itself, like when the G series started, it was just the Moto G, and like they would release, I forget the year the first one came out, but it was like the Moto G was it. It
was like a sibling to the X, right?
Yeah,
like
the cheaper version of that.
I can't remember if the G came out specifically under Google's ownership or if they were in the process of being sold to Lenovo, but we're talking around that 2013, 2014 timeframe. Yeah.
But then, I mean, as Lenovo ownership took over, I mean, it went from just that yearly Moto G to today. I mean, there's the base Moto G, which is the one I mentioned in my article, but there's also the cheaper Moto G Play. There's the slightly more expensive, but not very different Moto G Power. There's the quote unquote high-end Moto G Stylus. That's still a budget phone, but with higher specs than the rest of the range. And not that you can't offer, various models to choose from, and like more phones, like more options to choose from is almost always a good thing. But I wonder if just having, for this 2026 series and for the last couple of years, you have 4 phones in that Moto G family and then countless others in like Europe and Asia and other markets that are all kind of the same phone once you boil it down. Like there are some subtle differences in chipset and camera sensors, but like at the end of the day, there's not a dramatic difference between those 4 phones. Yeah,
I mean, we're talking about like basically intergenerational jumps, like not even really full chipset generation jumps. Oftentimes, like these are very minute differences. You might, it might be like a jump from 4 to 6 gigabytes of RAM, and that's it. Like these are almost entirely like the same, products scattered throughout like $200 to $400, but like the actual experience you're getting, no matter what of those prices you pay, is often like very identical to each other.
For sure. And it almost feels like with some of these, Motorola like has lost or like not figured out or forgotten how to differentiate these phones, because with the Moto G Power, like the power branding that is supposed to signify that has the biggest and the best battery life out of any phones in the G series. But we're at a point where
they all have big batteries.
Like basically the same like 5,000-ish milliamp hour cell in all of the Moto G
has
phones.
A 5,200 milliamp. Like I would have guessed that was in the Power. Like, yeah, it doesn't make any sense. So like it's so tricky. And also, oh my God, like this also, the issue is that these days, if you're not going to, go up to the $400, $500 range to buy a high-end Galaxy A series device or a Pixel A series phone, like you're almost better off just kind of trying to shop used rather than picking up one of these. You're probably going to have a better time scrolling through TikTok on a Galaxy S22 that you pick up on Swappa or whatever for, I don't know what the going prices are on these, but $250, $300 than you will on this Moto G from this year, and you'll get the same amount of upgrades, like basically, Well, if not more, you might get more.
Right, and it's tricky too, because I mean the only, at least with like Android Authority, with the way our reviews have worked out for like at least last year's Moto G series as an example, I think the Stylus was the only one we sort of like kind of strongly recommended. But even then, I mean, that's, I think $399 is the retail price, and you can spend, $100 more retail or the same price when the Pixel A series is on sale for, I would argue, a dramatically better phone in almost every single category. And like, I think that's also a factor where when the first couple generations of Moto G were out, that budget or mid-range Android landscape was dramatically different than it is today. And like even just the existence of the Pixel A series and how much better Samsung's Galaxy A series has gotten in some regards, like there's just, even if it's just those 2 additional competitors to deal with, like it just makes Motorola's job harder. It gives them more to work against. And with the products they've churned out last year and what it looks like from this year, like it doesn't seem like they're meeting that task of giving people a reason to buy one of those phones over a Pixel or over a Samsung or whatever other options are out there.
Let me ask you this, and then maybe we can move on. What is like your usual time frame for stop buying a new device? Like we're about halfway through like the Pixel 10's life cycle, right? Like that phone launched in August. It's February. assuming that the Pixel 11 is going to arrive in August, we're halfway through. Would you say people should still buy a Pixel 10 right now? Do you think they should be cautioned? I can't imagine you ever being like, don't buy a Pixel 10 right now. Like, we're way too far away.
Right.
But like, is this when you start being like, well, if you can wait half a year, or is that further down the road for you?
I mean, it depends on the person. Like, if you want a Pixel and you need a new phone right now,
yeah,
obviously, like, you should buy a Pixel 10. Like, any of those models, they're very good phones. I use the 10 Pro every day. Like, I would not feel bad about recommending a Pixel 10 today.
Right.
If you're like, you'll be in the market for a new phone in a couple of months or so, if you can wait and like your current phone is fine, I don't think it hurts just because we're inching closer there. But I don't think I really start thinking about that until, I don't know, like a couple months out from when we expect a new model, because we're only in February right now. Like you said, we're not expecting the Pixel 11 series until August. And there's that thing of like, you can always wait for the next new thing, and if you never buy, you're just perpetually waiting for something.
It's tricky. Yeah, it's tricky.
So yeah, like if you needed a new Pixel today, as that example, I think you should definitely buy one. If you, like I said, if you know down the road you'll probably need one, I still don't think you're like in a bad position getting a 10 today, but it's also tricky too, because we don't really know what the 11 series is going to bring. If that's going to be a dramatic upgrade, if it's going to be similar to the 9A to the 10A, where we're not going to see that much. It's
right.
trickier to say this early on when we really don't know what to expect from that upcoming model.
There you go. So, don't or do. It is kind of the most like, I did pick like the exact device that is like you can waffle on. You could really go either way on it, because it is exactly at our presumed halfway point between these two models.
Which, like, I know Prez probably like kind of a cop out answer, but I really do think it
no. I did it
on,
to you
like,
on purpose. I wanted you to give a cop out answer.
I'm glad I delivered there.
Okay. If you want to check out Joe's entire list, that will be in the episode description. But we're gonna move on to this game, because I'm very excited to play this. I have no idea if this is going to be entertaining. It might be a disaster. I have a handful of basic specs for these devices drawn up that I've pulled. I will say I've pulled primarily because these are older devices. I pulled primarily from GSM Arena and then Wikipedia if I needed backup. Every now and then GSM Arena's spec sheets can be wrong. So if there's something wrong on this, I apologize. Like, we're talking about devices, some of which are, 15 years old. So I had to work with what I had. Don't yell at me if there's one or two things that are wrong. But I'm going to read you the for each phone, the release date, the processor, general dimensions. So both its thickness and its weight, its display specs, and you can assume most of these are 60 hertz, by the way, from the timing. And both the OS version it launched on and its last upgrade. If you can get it from that, you get 3 points. For a maximum of, I suppose, 30 points, because there are 10 phones. If I also have highlighted features, so some of the standout things that made this phone different from its competition and other phones of the time. If you get that, 2 points. If you need the manufacturer after that, 1 point. And if you can't get anything, or I'm giving you additional clues beyond what I have prepared, 0 points. So we're going to start with a relatively easy one, just to feel out how this is going to go. Here we go. Our first phone launched on March 27th, 2014. It's powered by a Snapdragon 801 processor. It is 9.4 millimeters thick, 160 grams. It has a 5-inch 1080p LCD display. It launched on Android 4. It launched on Android 4.4.2 KitKat, and it was last upgraded to Marshmallow. I will say those are going to be the thing that if GSM Arena is wrong about anything, it will probably be those last upgrades. But we're gonna roll with it.
You said it was March of what year?
March of 2014. 5-inch.
Oh, God.
Most of these are flagship or flagship adjacent devices, I should say. So don't be thinking too hard about, mid-range 2014 phones. I know we were just talking about the G series, but I promise no Moto G series in this.
All right, March 2014. The dimensions are not going to help me at all. That's gonna be a crapshoot for me. It shipped with 4.4.2.
Yeah.
You said? Oh God. I want to say something was Samsung in March in 2014.
Could have been.
Oh God.
Do you want the highlighted features?
Give me a highlighted feature. I'll go there.
Some highlighted features of this phone include its dual front-facing stereo speakers, an all aluminum design, and a 4 megapixel f2.0 main sensor.
That was the HTC One. Was it M8?
M8.
Was 2014?
M8.
There we go.
Joe, you have 2 points.
I've got 2 points.
See,
that's
why I wanted this to be, look, if you can get it with 3 points, that's immaculate. But, let's give you a little bit of wiggle room to remember what it is, right? Like, I want this to be hard, but not too hard. I should also say, you should play along at home if you're not already doing that. I think this will be fun. And then, if you beat Joe's final score, post about it in the comments. And you get Joe's job. Congratulations. And his house and his life
and my new
his
house.
Pets. All right. You have 2 points, 2 of a maximum 3. Good start, Joe. Good start.
Thank you.
Here we go. Number 2, April 29th, 2015. Snapdragon 808 processor. This phone is 9.8 millimeters thick, but 155 grams. It has a 5.5-inch 1440p LCD display, launched on Android 5.5.1 Lollipop. Boy, I do not miss those very long incremental upgrades. And it was last upgraded to Nougat. Any guesses?
You said it was 5.5?
5.5-inch 1440p LCD display, April 29th, 2015.
If I guess a phone and it's incorrect, do I get a second guess or am I just wrong for this round?
I hadn't thought about that. We'll let you guess. We'll give you one free guess per phone.
Okay. This is probably wrong because I think it was an OLED panel, but 5.5 makes me want to say the first Galaxy Note, but I think that was probably older than this.
You are wrong.
Okay.
So I believe it is older than that. So I'm going to give you some highlighted features, and I think this might do it. Some highlighted features include optional leather back covers, a removable battery in 2015,
LG G4,
and such frequent boot loops that a class action lawsuit was filed 2 years after its launch. Go ahead.
G4, LG G4,
LG G4, the LG G4. I will give you 2 full points for that. I'm fair. I'm flexible. My
those
other fun fact:
leather backs. I had 2 of those.
It's funny you got that right from the leather back, but I was like, I know he's going to get this from the boot loop thing. I feel like that's that phone's full legacy is that it just wouldn't like everybody who had one just had to get a new phone.
Mm-hmm.
The other fun fact I had written down was that it shares its model name with a relatively recent TV model from the same manufacturer, which made researching this device in 2026 very annoying.
Oh God, I imagine.
The G4 was one of their 2024 OLED televisions. Okay. Number 3. This phone launched on April 24th, 2017. In the US, it was powered by a Snapdragon 835. Outside of the US, it's powered by a different chip, but we're running with the US ones. It is 8 millimeters. It's 155 grams. It has a 5.8-inch 1440p AMOLED display. It launched on Android 7.0 Nougat. It was last upgraded to Android 9 Pie.
You said what month of 2017?
April 24th, 2017. Snapdragon 835 in the US.
835. Different in other regions. I got to do some math.
10, some number math.
9. Galaxy. Oh, no. I was going to say Galaxy. How big did you say the display was? What size?
5.8 inches for this one.
Oh.
In 2017.
Was there a Galaxy S8 Plus? I don't think so. I can't remember. I should know this. Oh, wait. Well, no, it wouldn't be a Note. Note would be later in the year. If it is a Samsung. But the chipset makes me think it, because if it was Snapdragon in the US and probably Exynos in other regions. Galaxy S. I'm gonna say S8 Plus. That's probably wrong.
Is there an S8 Plus?
Is there? I can't.
There was an S8 Plus.
Okay. But you looking it up makes me think it's not.
This is not the S8 Plus, but I'm gonna give it to you because it is the S8. I'm gonna say you
was
have.
Was it 5.8?
Yes.
I think it was smaller.
Only thing you have wrong is the screen size, and so
I don't know why I was hung up on that.
I'm gonna give it to you at 3 points because I think it's impressive that you got it. If anybody wants to yell at me, well, I made the game. So. You are standing after, what is that, 3 phones? You are standing at 7 out of 10 maximum points. I think that's pretty good.
This is much better than I thought I was going to do.
You're crushing it. You're crushing it. I want to tell you that the features I had written down for that was I wrote a novel, ultra tall 18.5 by 9 aspect ratio with minimized bezels and a curved display, a built-in heart rate sensor, and the launch of an all-new Android UI experience, which is not One UI, it was Samsung Experience. Which
it was, wasn't it?
Ooh. Yeah, I thought it was the first One UI phone, and I was like, no, I'm forgetting. I know Samsung Experience exists. I just forget where it falls in the timeline.
I forgot that was a whole era for their software. RIP Samsung Experience.
RIP. Okay. November 13th, 2012 is our next phone.
Okay, we're going backwards.
It is powered by a Snapdragon S4 Pro.
Ooh.
9.1 millimeters, 139 grams, a 4.7 inch 768p LCD display. It launched with Android 4.2 Jelly Bean, and it was last upgraded to 5.1 Lollipop.
Oh, God. What month did you say? I keep forgetting
November
the months.
13th, 2012.
November 2012. 4.7 inch screen?
4.7.
November 2012. It's not a Samsung. Wait. Was this 2012? What was the chipset again?
It's Snapdragon S4 Pro.
Is that the... no. Was Moto X 2013? I want to say Moto X, but I think that was 2013 because the second gen was 2014.
It was 2013.
It's not that. Oh man, I thought I had it for a second.
Do you want some additional features?
I'll take some features.
Some highlighted features include a fully stock build of Android, a unique design with a crystal reflective process pattern on the back, and a surprisingly cheap price point for its specs.
Nexus 4.
This is the Nexus 4.
I should have got that.
I thought the OS version would get you on this because what other devices besides Nexus were making it out of Jelly Bean onto Lollipop?
Yeah.
You know? Kit Kat's in there. like there's like a lot in there. And I think also Jelly Bean was also 4.3. So it's got to jump through a bunch of hoops to get there.
That's fair. In the moment, my brain was like just going from 4 to 5 doesn't sound like a lot, forgetting that we had bigger upgrades with just point versions for a while.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, that's fair. Nexus 4.
Listen, you're doing well. You're at 9 points out of a maximum 13. So
I will take it.
You're doing great. I might have done my math wrong on that. I don't know. Number 5. I want you to know every time, because I have the phone listed above the list, and every single time, 5 for 5 so far, I have almost read the phone name.
I mean, if you want to, I'll take the free points.
Nope. Because this one is probably one of the 2 most difficult ones on the list. Here we go. September 12th, 2014. It is powered by a Snapdragon 801 chipset. It is 6.7 millimeters, 115 grams. It has a 4.7 inch 720p OLED display. Might have been an AMOLED display. And it launched on Android 4.4. Jesus. Android 4.4.4 KitKat. And it was last upgraded to 5.0.2 Lollipop.
Is it allowed for you to reread the year and the dimensions?
Yeah, of course. September 12th, 2014. 6.7 millimeters. It considered very thin for the time, and 115 grams. So like incredibly light as well, especially today.
What when the screen size was?
4.7, 720p.
Man, that's really thin and light. I don't know if the year would line up. I want to say the Sharp Aquos.
I promise I did not include a Sharp
You didn't
device
go
on this list.
that niche. Oh man. God, what was that thin and light back then?
I know, it's tricky. Do you want some features?
I was hoping to get this a 3, but I think I need to take features.
This one's pretty hard. I'm honestly this phone has always been such a specific interesting device to me, and I have no idea how much it has resonated with other people. So I wrote, the only real standout feature here was its design with an all-new aluminum frame that would later make its way to true flagships. Nearly every review of its time talks exclusively about the design, but that it sacrificed but sacrifices included a lower res display and a lack of water resistance, which the other phone that was being sold by this company at the time did feature.
This is so hard. Why is this so tricky?
This one is tough.
It's not the 1M7. That wouldn't make sense.
It's not the 1M7.
Oh, God, this is stumping me so hard.
Do you want the manufacturer?
I think I need the manufacturer. I'm going to have to go there for this one.
This is a Samsung device.
This is Samsung?
This is a Samsung phone.
Oh, my God. This was 2014?
2014.
2014 Samsung phone with aluminum design. Is this embarrassing for me? Am I going to lose my trending editor job?
I don't think so. Do you want the answer? Are you stumped? Have I stumped you on this one?
It's not the first Galaxy Edge.
No, it's not.
Oh, I want to sit here and think, but I want to sit here for like 15 minutes. So I'll let you tell me this one.
This is the Samsung Galaxy Alpha.
I would not have guessed that. Now that you say it, I'm like, okay, I would never in a million years have guessed that outright.
So this launched a few months after the Galaxy S5, which featured it's like a plastic build and a like Band-Aid rubber back that sucked, but it was waterproof and it wasn't a bad phone. It was just like it was launching next to the HTC One M8, and everybody was like, well, that's like a great looking device that is building on the 1M7, so it's not even like the first aluminum phone. Mm-hmm. And the Galaxy Alpha was like this incredibly, even today, if you look it up, it's like a good looking device. It's got these like chamfered edges that look like awesome. And it obviously was like super thin and light, but it kind of only existed as like a proof of concept, more or less, for like what Samsung was eventually going to do on the Galaxy S6, another 6 months later. I've just always been obsessed with this phone. I think it's such an interesting little bridge.
I completely forgot about
two
this.
Worlds. I know. I'm gonna have to put a picture of this one up because I don't know how well remembered it is. Okay, don't worry, Joe. I thought that one might be hard, so I followed it up.
That was a good tricky one.
Probably the easiest one on this list, I would say. I think this is the easiest one.
Well, this is gonna be bad if I miss this one then.
I think you will get this like first, like without any additional hints. I think you will get this.
Oh, that's a lot of pressure.
This phone, I almost said the name again. This phone launched on October 15th, 2020. A very normal time. It's powered by a Snapdragon 765G.
I think I already know this.
It is 10.9 millimeters. It weighs 260 grams. It features a 6.8-inch 1080p OLED display, along with a second 3.9-inch 1080p display. It launched on Android 10 and was last upgraded to Android 12. Goodbye decimal points that are coming back in the next phone, so it doesn't matter. What is it?
LG Wing, it has to be.
It is the LG Wing. See, Joe,
when you said October 2020, I was like, is that going to be the Pixel 5? But then you said the dual displays. RIP LG Wing. I loved you.
A fascinating phone. My hints on the highlighted features were a swiveling display, a gimbal motion camera with virtual joystick controls, and a motorized pop-up selfie cam, which I forgot it had. I completely forgot about that. Because I'm so like either. You're so like looking at the fact that it swivels that you forget it has that. Yeah.
I remember trying to use that like when I was out shopping, like having a grocery list app open or like a recipe app open on one screen, like grocery list or something else on the other. And I like thought it would be good, but I looked like a complete freak. You like carrying that in public. Like I will never do this again. Other than that one time I tried using it in the real world with both displays. Weird phone.
Friend of the show, past and future guest, and your Android Authority coworker, Stephen Schenk has one, and I am always jealous of it. I wish I had one like so. I feel like I would just use it like all the time around the house. I wouldn't put a SIM card in it. I would just like use it around the house to like waste time with.
I think I still have one in this closet behind me, which I need to organize when moving, but I'm like 90% sure there's an LG Wing in there somewhere.
Jealous. I'm realizing now that it's actually, because I just got a couple weeks ago, I got my AY and Thor shipment that I pre-ordered in December. And now that I'm thinking about it, that's a very similar device in that in terms of swivel mode, in that it's got that top 16:9 display along with a square screen on the bottom that you can like play YouTube videos on while you play a game at the top or whatever. I hadn't thought about that, but that's actually like almost I should write this maybe. That's the legacy of the LG Wing is actually in gaming or in emulator handhelds. Interesting. Thanks for the brainstorm, Joe.
You're welcome. I'll take that article for myself. Thank you.
Absolutely not. Joe and I do a lot of parallel thinking, I will say. So, okay. I've lost count. What is this? 7? Number 8, 9, 10. Number 7. August 20th, 2013. This phone is powered by the X8 mobile computing system, which is the Snapdragon S4 Pro with additional OEM modifications. It is 8.5 millimeters and 167 grams, and it has a 5-inch 720p OLED display.
5-inch OLED.
Oh, sorry. And Android 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, last upgraded to Android 4.4.4 KitKat.
Okay. What was the release month? It was August?
August 20th, 2013.
August 2013.
I'm going to be honest with you. This is the other hardest phone on this list because I don't like. There's so many devices with both of the brand names in it that it's a bit tricky.
With both of the brand names in it,
you'll know what I mean when you guess it.
I think I have to go to
that's fine.
To highlight features.
So some highlighted features for this include long-lasting multi-day battery life. So it was quoted, I think, at 48 hours. Some of the reviews I were reading up on from the time said like it was hitting more like 36 to 40, but regardless, for the time, that's really good.
Yeah.
It had always-on voice commands for Google Now support, a soft touch Kevlar back, and an active notification system that was basically an early always-on display.
Oh, this was a Motorola Droid. Oh, this is a Droid, I'm pretty sure, because I think I had this. Was it a sub? Like there was Droid something. It's not a Droid 2 because that was the keyboard, and this didn't have that. Oh, I know I had this phone. Oh, this would make me so mad. Because you saying it's Motorola is not going to help me because I know that's what this is.
It is Motorola. Yeah. It is Motorola. Yeah, and I'm not gonna. I won't take a point away from that. You're dancing around it. But can you guess which Motorola phone?
I want to say Droid. Is it Droid Turbo or Turbo 2?
I'm only going to give you one guess on this one since you're close. Are you locking that in?
I can't think of any of the other like sub Droid things. I'm just going to say Droid Turbo.
It is the Motorola Droid Max.
The Max.
And the reason I said the two brands is because the year before it was the Razer Max, I believe. And so they've just like essentially just slammed two other brands together with Droid and Max. Kind of a forgotten phone, but like you look up reviews of it and everybody was like pretty positive on it and didn't like whatever the other Droid was at the time. I've already forgotten. A tricky device to remember, but one that I wanted to test your patience with and the listeners' patience. I'm sure they're annoyed with me.
Oh God, I just found my YouTube review from 12 years ago.
Did you review the Max or the Turbo?
This was the Max HD, which I don't know if that might have been like a Verizon
completely different phone.
I don't know.
This was a Verizon specific phone, but like
all the
that's
Droids
the
were.
Issue with that's the issue with trying to remember early Motorola devices is that they have lots of similar names to them. Like Motorola kind of picked the like 4 words they liked putting in all the devices and would just like fridge magnet rearrange them into different patterns.
That was a good pick. That was a good one.
Thank you. I spent a lot of time going through and like trying to pick phones that might be remembered but aren't too easy. Speaking of, August 25th, 2017. That is my 22nd birthday. So happy 22nd birthday to me. This phone is powered by a Snapdragon 835. It's 7.8 millimeters, 185 grams. It has a 5.71 inch LCD 1312p display, and it is launched on Android 7.1 Nougat, last upgraded to Android 10.
August 2017?
Yep.
Oh, God. I feel like this should be easier because you made it sound like this is going to be an easy one.
This is an easy one once I read the highlighted features, I think.
It wouldn't. What was the display size?
5.71 inch LCD 1312p display.
So it's not a note. I might have to take the features. I don't want to just sit here in silence for like 10 minutes.
This phone has an extremely striking design. It is an edge-to-edge display with one of the first prominent camera cutouts we saw on a smartphone, and it is a one-and-done device from this company. This is the only phone this company ever launched.
Oh, God. The first one that came to mind was Nextbit Robin.
That's a good guess. It is not the Nextbit Robin.
It wouldn't be the two Razer phones because there were two of those.
You gotta really think about the design on this one. I feel like the design is...
It'd have to be the red hydrogen, wouldn't it? I'm saying...
You're locking it in?
Hold on. It's not Nextbit. Striking design, the only phone this company made.
Mm-hmm. Prominent camera cutout.
I'm going to say red hydrogen one.
It is the Essential phone.
Oh, God. Okay.
I think you're 2 years too early for the hydrogen one. It is the Essential phone, which launched like a month before the iPhone 10 was announced. So like this is like the first like glimpse of notches we really have. I think the reason the resolution is so weird is because it's an LCD display that they're trying to do edge to edge on. So it's got that wide bar at the bottom for the display components that you don't necessarily need with like an OLED panel.
I should have got that.
But that's why I was like really like edge to edge. Like it's like
hydrogen
like
was an edge to edge display that had big old bezels on it.
Two more and then a bonus round. We're almost done, Joe. You're almost out of hell.
I'm trailing down. This started so well and it's going poorly now.
October 21st, 2016. It is powered by a Snapdragon 820. It's 7.6 millimeters, 174 grams. It has a 5.7 inch 1440p LCD display with a 2.1 inch 1040 by 160 secondary display. It is it launched on Android 7.0 Nougat and was last upgraded to Android 9 Pie.
This is an LG V something, I think. What year was it?
2016.
God, they made like 4 V phones, or they make 5 of them. How big was the secondary display? 2 inches?
2.1. Yeah.
Oh God, was it that big of a secondary screen?
Let me read you the resolution again. 1040 by 160. On the secondary display.
That wouldn't make sense for the V, I don't think, because that was way too elongated. Oh God, what about a secondary screen? I might. I don't want to take the highlights, but I might take the highlights. Oh, this is bad.
You're really going to kick yourself. Some highlighted features include a second ticker display along the top of the main screen. It features an impressive built-in 32-bit quad DAC, kind of the first smartphone to do that, and it kept its replaceable battery in a time where that feature had mostly died off.
It's the LG V. Oh, was it just the V or is it the V10? Whatever the first V was, I don't remember. I think it was V10.
The V10 I had, interestingly enough. I had the V10 because I broke my phone, or I don't remember what happened to me. I truly, the 2010s, I was jumping between phones like every 6 months. I don't remember, but I went to the Verizon store. I needed a new phone, and I was between the V10 and the Galaxy Note 5, and I wanted the Note, and they were out of stock of the Note, so I got the V10, which I liked a lot. Unfortunately, this phone is the V20, which I never had.
Cool. Cool. The V10 had did they have the ticker display? Or did they not do that until the 20?
But the V10 and V20 had the ticker display, and then I think they dropped it on the 30. And the 30 on the V series became like, it's like content. I mean, it was already a little bit that, but it became LG's like attempt to do like a content creator phone where it was like really heavily focused on like video recording specifically and creation tools. And it had that quad DAC in it for like, if you were super into like if you were an audiophile, basically. Like it was an interesting line, but I felt like it never really found its niche. It kept trying to do a lot of things for a lot of people.
I don't know if I ever used one. Any of the V series.
I liked my V10 a lot, except for the fact that the rubberized back on it like would completely lose its coating over time. It sort of sucked. Okay, last device. I really think you're gonna get this one.
God,
if
I
not
hope so. I need
immediately,
the points.
then certainly on the highlighted features. I think you'll get this. May 16th, 2019 is our launch date. Snapdragon 855, 8.8 millimeters, 206 grams, 6.67 inch, 1440p OLED display. This phone launched on Android 9 Pie and was last upgraded to Android 12.
6.67. You said it was May of 2019?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's got to be a Pixel A then, right? What was in 2019?
6.67 inch 1440p display.
Oh no, that wouldn't make sense. It can't be an A series, but it's in May.
It's in May.
It wouldn't be a Galaxy S because that'd be earlier in the year. Oh, I want to get this with 3 points, but I think you're going to have to give me some highlights.
Some of the highlighted features include a motorized pop-up selfie camera that allowed for a notchless display. It had 30-watt fast charging, which allowed for its 4,000 milliamp per hour battery to top up in a meaningful degree in about 20 minutes. And I would say its 90 hertz display, which was similarly ahead of its time here. That was really only a feature on gaming phones up until this device.
It was the OnePlus 7 Pro.
It's the OnePlus 7 Pro. 2 points, Joe. 2 points.
Man, I always forget the OnePlus's release dates. They've just shifted so much over the years. I can never pin down when those older ones came out. What a good phone.
The 7 Pro was it's OnePlus's legacy is so weird because it's like success and then like a dark period and then success and then a dark period. And I'm so curious to see if they do like a third like revival before we
just release a new 7 Pro. I'll be all over it. What a phone.
I mean, that design like holds up, to be honest with you.
It's so good. Like I know there's the motorized camera is not durable, probably.
No,
but I don't care.
Not.
It's cool.
It's cool. Okay, so you are at 14 of 30 points, which is it's okay. It's not bad. I made this pretty hard. I have a bonus round that I'm gonna say if you can get this off the jump, I'll give you an additional like 10 points. Here we go. Release date, September 9th, 2010. This is powered by a Samsung Hummingbird S5 PC 110 processor. It's 10.5 millimeters, 116 grams. It has a 4-inch 480p OLED display, AMOLED display. It launched on Android 2.1 Eclair, and it was last upgraded to Android 2.3 Gingerbread. Any guesses?
What year was it?
September 9th, 2010.
2010. And the display specs were what again?
4-inch, 480p
480.
OLED display, AMOLED display.
I'm torn between S2 and S3, and I'm trying to remember what year that would have been.
Do you want some additional features? I'll give you additional, and I'll still give you 10 points if you get it right.
I'll take the additional features then.
It's some highlighted features include it's AMOLED display that, and I'm paraphrasing one review here, looks much better than the Motorola Droids 2 display. Google was replaced with Bing on this particular model to some controversy, and it has a headphone jack. I couldn't think of a third feature really because this is so old.
Would it be the original Galaxy S?
Do you want to expand on that at all? Like, Because there was like 18 models of the Galaxy.
So I had the Galaxy S Fascinate, which was Verizon, and I know for a fact Bing was on that. And that was, I mean, the US had multiple, like each carrier had a different Galaxy S brand. Fascinate's the only one I can think of because that's what I had, and I know Bing was on there. And I know that was I'm going to say Galaxy S Fascinate.
It's the Galaxy S Fascinate, Joe.
I win.
Your first phone.
Points.
I know it's your first phone because you wrote about it at Android Central in 2020. The review I was paraphrasing was your Android Central retrospective review.
Oh, that's embarrassing.
Listen, I was doing research. I found I was like, I wonder if Joe's ever written about his first phone. And you had. It was great.
And I just now remembered I did that.
You just remembered. Well, it's been 5.5 years or whatever. Buddy, I'll give you the 10 points for that. So that makes you at a whopping 24 out of technically 40, but really 30, but 40 points. But 30, I'll say 30. 24 out of 30. Nice job, buddy.
I'll take it.
If you played along at home, post in the comments, post in the YouTube comments, the post comments. Let me know what you got. If you hated this, email me. Although I assume you didn't finish it if you hated it. And if you liked it, you want me to do this again in 5 or 6 months with somebody else, let me know. Cause I thought this was pretty fun. I enjoyed walking down memory lane with you, Joe. This was great.
Oh yeah, this is great.
A little game out of it.
I guess let me know if somebody, if I should contact my bosses, if somebody's taking over my role at Android Authority, if they got a better score.
You should also, if you want to just relentlessly make fun of Joe for missing whatever you consider an easy one, say the Nexus 4, which you got only after the highlighted features. Or if you're a really big Galaxy Alpha fan and you're just mad Joe didn't remember it.
The one person that's out there.
It's me. I'm the one person. I didn't even have that phone. I just find it endlessly fascinating. Yeah, but that's it. Joe, that was super fun. Thank you so much for coming on.
I'm honored to be the inaugural guest for this
whatever
unnamed
this is
game.
Name the phone. Yeah. I have to come up with a catchy name. Where can people find you? Android Authority for now.
For now, replaces you. Until whoever got a better score than me. But no, I have at least usually one feature per day that's published in Android Authority, writing about something, Google services, Android phones, whatever it may be. Trending editor means I'm just writing about the trending stuff until the new person replaces me who won the quiz. But I'm technically on Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky at JoeMarin1, but I don't know the last time I've tweeted or posted anything on those. So
fair enough. That is Android an increasingly common thing people say when I ask them where to find them. I feel like more often than not, it's people being like, I'm technically on I'm right there too. It's I'm technically on social media, but am I posting a lot? No, not really. Nope. So, yeah.
But no, I try to be somewhat active in the comments on my articles that I publish. So if you want to yell at me there, that's probably the best place to.
Hey, Joe's a Letterboxd. Go yell at his movie opinions.
I am actually active on Letterboxd. Of all the social network, if we consider that a social
we do
platform,
on this show we do. So
then I'm on Letterboxd. I think it's either Joe Marin or Joe Marin1.
Yeah,
but yeah, I think that's my most active place on the internet.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, Joe, thank you so much.
Thank you, Will. Happy to be here.
And that'll do it for this week's Sideload. Thanks again to Joe. You can find him writing at Android Authority practically every day, I would say. And again, follow him on Letterboxd. He is a big movie fan. As always, you can reach me at will@9to5mac.com, or you can find me on the social platform of your choice. Feedback is always welcome, as are guest suggestions. And if you beat Joe's original score of 14 points, feel free to let me know. I will gloat on your behalf for him. I will send them all to him, and he will know that he has been crushed. You can find, rate, and review us on the podcast platform of your choice. Subscribe to 9 to 5 Google on YouTube if you haven't. I know a lot of people watch us there. And share the show with a friend if you enjoyed it. I hope you did. I hope this wasn't a big waste of time. I thought it was a lot of fun. I think as long as people enjoyed it, we're going to do it again, probably in a few months with a new guest. Next week, speaking of, Brady Snyder joins the show. He's written for a bunch of websites, most recently Android Central. I really like Brady's writing. I have been a longtime fan. And recently he wrote a couple of editorials on both YouTube TV's new sports-focused package that is designed to save people money, although not as much as perhaps some of us were hoping for. And then also the state of music streaming services, which I think is a really interesting area that not enough people are talking about, whether or not music streaming is healthy, even from a user perspective. So I'm very excited to talk to him about Spotify and YouTube Music and Apple Music and where people are listening and what people want out of these apps. But that's next week. Until then, I hope everybody has a great week. We're releasing this on President's Day, so if you're enjoying your day off, congratulations. And otherwise, we will see you in the next one. Bye.